And the phone kept ringing and ringing and ringing and ringing. I said, I got to pick up this phone. So I pick it up, and it was Winifred McNabb on the phone saying, before Dwayne passed away, he said, you give 10% of that life insurance I have for you, set aside for you, what I've been taking care of for all this time. You give 10% to the building program. We had $100,000 that we were short was given to the church cash in that phone call. When I look at what God calls a sanctuary, it is a place that is dedicated to worshiping Him. That's the whole name of a sanctuary. It is set aside. You go to the sanctuary in the Old Testament, high priests were going in. It was a holy place, a place of holiness, a place where God gathers with His people to worship. We couldn't do His will. And what I mean by that is, we're supposed to make disciples. We're supposed to develop people as they come here and grow from the child all the way up. So we had to move to the school in order to be able to do what God called us to do. And that started to have a negative effect on attendance, involvement, etc. So I knew in order to fulfill the vision He's given, stay within His word and do what He says, no matter what that may take us through. It's got to press on towards the mark. And by the grace of God, He has sustained, He has kept us, He has blessed us. We're able to do what God has called us to do. We're able to have a whole children's wing now. That is such a blessing. And I pray that you stay involved. So as this vision continues to evolve, we will evolve into doing what God has called us to do as we move forward in getting the Family Life Center established right behind this building so that we can have a great time for discipleship, a great time for fellowship, a great time for our youth, young adults, and so our ministry could be a comprehensive reach to the family. This is the vision that God has placed there, and it is obvious, even in the midst of a pandemic, that He would bless it. Stay focused, Living Word. He never promises there wouldn't be challenges, but He promises that we're more than conquerors through Jesus Christ.
When that happened and everything leading up to even this church getting built, it tore me apart. But to see his faith continue to press him onwards, to see him press forward the way that he did, just watching my dad pour love into this ministry and this church, this community, this city, internationally, this chairs is just another representation of the walk that he's been on, the journey that God has had him on. Because whether these seats would be filled or not didn't matter. Whether people would support him or not to rectify the problem doesn't matter. Dad always believes, like his favorite song, "Great is Thy faithfulness."
In all honesty, I was low. I felt like I let God down and the church down. Felt as a pastor, I didn't manifest a commitment to trust well. When people trust you, you never take that for granted. And so it was a very difficult time that made me go to the cross again and go before God and say what I'm saying to you before Him, that I'm sorry. So I decided, you know what, God, I'm gonna get up and work. So I decided to go I think it's Arkansas somewhere, where the person that stole our money was there. And so people got a little scared, including my wife and family. We got there, and thanks to a member, we got people in law enforcement to help us to be there. And we start the process, got the FBI involved, because I start seeing God's hand in it. Started exposing this person didn't just do us this way. Started learning that, calling different churches. In the process of learning all of that, I started to call the company, letting them know that their stamp is on this information for these chairs. So we saw stamps. We saw this kind of situations take place. We called them. They said, oh my goodness, we trusted him to do the job. We believed in him to do the job. So our company is not going to be involved in this. And said they decided to give us better quality chairs for a lower price. So God just kept working in ways, even in the rain. He sent people to help. And that encouraged our church and definitely saw the hand of grace in the mighty God. And that, to me, is what makes me know that all things work together for good to them that keep obeying Him, no matter what you face.